But in this next topic, we're going to talk about Tesla financing and what credit score. This is a little bit of a PSA, but what credit score do you actually need, or do you need a required credit score to get finance for your Tesla? Of course, there's plenty of you out there that are on the cusp. You just placed an order, or you're even thinking about buying a Tesla, and you're wondering, what? I just checked my Credit Karma. What credit score do I actually need to get approved to finance and purchase a Tesla? So we'll talk about it. But if you're just joining in, my name is Dennis. I love talking about Tesla hacking, as I like to call it, but basically just getting the best behind Tesla at the best financing rate. So definitely hit that subscribe if you're interested. And today's video is actually sponsored by my Patreon link down below in the description, where you can get access to the best Tesla buying guide out there that has links to all the links that I use to get the best possible deal, and of course at really good financing rates, some even as low as 3.7 to 2.99%. So definitely check it out, link down below in the description. But let us take a look at this. So you're probably looking at the Model 3 right now, because the Model 3 long range just came out for $47,240 as an MSRP, and it also qualifies for the $3,750 tax credit. But then at the same time, there's the Model Y standard range all-wheel drive at $47,240, qualifies for a $7,500 federal tax credit, and the Model Y long range at $50,240 also qualifies for a $7,500 federal tax credit. So in terms of value to value, the Model Y is certainly a better vehicle out there in terms of qualification. But the question you might be asking is, what type of credit score do you actually need? You probably checked your Credit Karma, you saw whatever score it actually gave you. And so we'll talk about what actual credit scores are being reported to being actually approved in terms of data that was actually submitted as feedback. But before we do that, this video is actually sponsored by Tenet. Tenet is a different type of financing company out there that allows you to get a really low monthly payment. And they do this by letting you defer a portion of the loan, maybe even say that $7,500 federal tax credit all the way to the end. So there's a strategy here where you use Tenet, get a low monthly payment, defer the financing of the $7,500, and then get the tax credit next year, and then pay off Tenet and then refinance the whole thing. So Tenet does this because they work with credit unions out there and different types of financing partners that understand that Teslas and electric vehicles are different specialty types of vehicles, that they hold potentially better value. So definitely check out Tenet if you're interested in using Tenet to finance or even refinance your vehicle. Down below in the description, there's a Tenet link. And thank you to Tenet for sponsoring this video and a portion of other videos throughout this month. But here's the data. So Tenet actually reported with TechCrunch that their owners have an average credit score of about 620, or as low as 620, to actually get approved through Tenet. And I would say that's about right. That is basically the baseline in terms of approval. Of course, higher is better. I would say 700 plus is much, much better. But of course, we actually polled the group, they polled the community out there. And so I asked the question a couple days ago, for those who got financing approved for a Tesla, what is your credit score? So an overwhelming 40% said that they had a credit score of anywhere from 700 to 799. Then in a second majority, 32% that had a credit score that was above 800 plus. So kudos to everybody that had those two credit score categories. And in the third majority, or 7%, or really only what, 80 to 90 people out there, said they had a credit score from anywhere from 600 to 699, and actually 4%. So 50 people out there said that they had credit scores under 599. So there is hope. Even if you've got a lower credit score under the 620 or under the 700, you certainly have a chance of getting approved. But just know that if you're going to be in this range of lower credit scores, you'll probably have to put much, much more down than possible. And on top of that, if you're a new auto loan buyer, you've never bought a car, or you've never had any sort of auto financing at all, you certainly will probably have to put anywhere from 10 to 20, maybe even 30% down to actually get approved. So definitely be aware of that. You'll probably have to go through Tesla financing at the Tesla financing rate, but just be aware of that. That's for sure. So hopefully that helps. Hopefully you gained some information from there and got some value. But we're going to jump into the live stream comments. But before we do that, this video is actually sponsored by my Patreon link. Down below in the description is the Patreon link where you can support the channel And there's a variety of benefits, but some of them include actually scheduling a call with me where you can ask me any questions about buying a Tesla, selling a Tesla, or even financing a Tesla. And after you join the Patreon, you get a link to my buying guide, which has links to all the credit unions I use to get the best possible deal at the best financing rate, including credit unions and banks on the list that have interest rates as low as 3.7% to 2.99%. So definitely check it out. Link down below in the description. And as an added bonus, I do respond to all DMs or direct messages in the Patreon app. So if you want to ask me a question at a certain membership level, you can definitely do that. Link down below in the description. Let's see what else. Alex,